morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's installment of Mack and the Movies. Today we are going to take a look at one of the most iconic monsters of the 1940s, that golden era of horror from Universal Studios. Let's jump right in with The Wolfman, starring Lon Chaney Jr., Claude Rains, Evelyn Ankers, Maria Ouspenskaya, and Bela Lugosi. After making a career for himself in America for 18 years, Lawrence Talbot returns home to his family estate. With the tragic death of his brother, Sir John Talbot is putting the estate in Lawrence's care. Lawrence is put to work right away, installing a new lens to a telescope. While testing out the new telescope lens, Lawrence spies Gwen and is immediately smitten with her. He goes to visit her at the shop he saw her living above. After one of the most awkward and stalkerish meet-cutes ever put on film, Lawrence and Gwen meet up to visit the gypsies that are in town. Joining them is one of Gwen's friends, Jenny. When they arrive at the gypsies, Bella, the fortune-teller, takes in Jenny first. Lawrence and Gwen go for a walk instead of staying with Jenny. Lawrence tries to put the moves on Gwen, yet finds out that Gwen is engaged to be married to one of the estate's employees. During Jenny's fortune reading, Bella reveals a scar in the shape of a pentagram. While giving her her fortune, Bella sees a pentagram star in her hand. Horrified, Bella tells Jenny to leave right away. Scared herself, Jenny quickly leaves and runs into the woods. In the foggy dark, Jenny is attacked by a wolf. Lawrence goes to her rescue and beats back the beast, yet he is too late to save her. In the struggle, the beast wounds Lawrence. Gwen finds Lawrence on the ground, weary from the fight. Maliva, the other gypsy at the camp, finds the pair and helps them back to the Talbot estate. After Lawrence and Gwen return, the authorities start an investigation. They find Jenny's body with signs of animal bites. However, they don't find a wolf, but they find the body of Bella, the fortune-teller. From there, the uncertainty escalates into confusion as more people become victims of a wolf, and the police suspect Lawrence is involved. The Wolfman was one of the last monsters to be introduced into the Universal horror roster. By this time, you had the Phantom of the Opera, Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, the Invisible Man, the Bride of Frankenstein, and the Mummy. That's a pretty strong collection of characters, and the Wolfman adds a lot to this group that many might not realize. Traditions and destiny is a big theme within the film. The film presents the concept that things happen because they were meant to happen, and that things happen because it's the way it should. For the Talbot family, it is tradition for the elder son to take over the family estate, while the youngest is essentially exiled to make a living for themselves. Lawrence only returns after his brother's death, otherwise he would have stayed in America. By extension, it was destiny that would have Lawrence take on the curse of the Wolfman. It was the fate that beheld him. Bella turning Lawrence into the Wolfman is a tradition in its own right. Bella must place his curse upon another as one did upon him. Screenwriter Kurt Siodmak was a refugee from Hitler's Germany. Having witnessed the rise of Adolf Hitler, this served as inspiration for his take on the Wolfman. The pentagram is a mark of death, yet it shares more of a similarity to the Star of David. The Wolfman represents the German people who would eventually become Nazis, the notion that good, decent people can turn into bloodthirsty murderers. The dialogue in the film has some memorable lines, rivaling those of Dracula or Frankenstein. There's the ominous rhyme.
How does it go? Even a man who is pure in heart and says his prayers by night may become a wolf when the wolfbane blooms and the autumn moon is bright.
There's also Maliva's Blessing, which is really touching, accented with the violin in the music score.
The way you walked was thorny, through no fault of your own. But as the rain enters the soil, the river enters the sea, So cheers run to a predestined end. Your suffering is over, Bale, my son. Now you will find peace.
These examples show Ziad Mack's potent use of language. The film was originally going to be ambiguous with regards to the Wolfman. Ziad Mack wrote the film as a mystery thriller where it was uncertain if Talbot actually turned into a werewolf or if this was all in his own head. It was a decision by the studio to actually make Talbot a werewolf. The film takes place in an unusual setting. You have a mix of elements including horse-drawn carts, castles, automobiles, Englishmen, gypsies. This tries to give the film a timeless feel, but still dated these days. Jack Pierce deserves credit for the design of the Wolfman makeup. Using spirit gum and yak hair, he crafted a memorable look to a monster that ranks right up there with Frankenstein's monster and the Mummy. Sadly, Pierce's methods were time-consuming and couldn't keep up with increasing demand for shorter appliance periods and easier removal. The cast features a mix of talent. Lon Chaney Jr. is excellent as Lawrence Talbot, despite the fact that it is completely unbelievable to accept him as the son of Claude Rains. Ziad Mack originally had Lawrence as an American mechanic with no relation to the Talbots. Chaney gives a heartbreaking turn as the tormented Lawrence. He had that talent to make you really feel sorry for his character, much like his turn as Lenny in Of Mice and Men. And, to Chaney's credit, he is the only actor credited to playing Lawrence Talbot the Wolfman, in addition to playing all the other head monsters of the Universal Horror roster, be it Dracula, the Mummy, or Frankenstein's monster. Claude Rains plays a more sedated character with Sir John Talbot, a dramatic change from both Griffin and the Phantom. Bela Lugosi has a small but pivotal role as the fortune teller that sets in motion the curse that would plague Lawrence Talbot. Evelyn Ankers plays the love interest Gwen. Maria Ospinskaya plays Maliva and gives an unforgettable turn as the gypsy that can provide no comfort for Talbot. She would later return for Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman. She's done other roles, but none that stand out as much as this performance. The Wolfman may not be as heralded as Dracula or Frankenstein, but it is a strong film that deserves to be associated with the best of Universal Horror. There is no shortage of DVDs and avenues with which you can see this classic. Highly, highly recommended. And that finishes this look at The Wolfman. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to stay on top of future content. I'm Mackenzie Lambert with Mack the Movies. Until next week, take care, folks.